please join me in extending a warm Missouri welcome to a distinguished combat veteran and a great American, Tom Ridge.
Tom Ridge, the 43rd governor of Pennsylvania and first ever Secretary of the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, was on campus last month to discuss the issue of global terrorism. Ridge was appointed by President George W. Bush as the first assistant to the president for Homeland Security after the tragic events of 9/11, and is considered an expert on national security and terrorism. While the title of Ridge's speech was ISIS, the growing threat of global terrorism, the Vietnam veteran also spoke about issues within the U.S. government that he believes need to be addressed.
I know there's a lot of disappointment with what appears to be a dysfunctional enterprise called federal government. Parties can't seem to get along, compromise seems to be a dirty word, and problems linger. Much discussion about the problem, very few solutions.
Ridge said the solution to the nation's problems could be found in its youth, who he urged to get more informed and more active in politics.
One of the main things was, that our generation needs to go out and vote, which is something I do believe that needs to happen.
But not all students agree. Some believe there are better ways to get involved.
I don't think it's necessarily that we're not voting, it's more that we're not participating. Voting isn't always the best form of participation.
Ridge also discussed issues such as bipartisanism and the Iran nuclear deal, which led some students to wonder what the main point of the convocation was.
ISIS wasn't the critical issue that was discussed. I'm not entirely sure what was the critical issue discussed. There was a lot of different things that he talked about.
Some students still wanted a direct answer to the issue of terrorism after the convocation ended.
What would his plan be to combat terrorism now with the development of ISIS and the sort of resurgence in terrorism that has happened?
The 2015 R. Dan Boulware Convocation on Critical Issues was one in a long line that began in 1993 as a way to enrich the experiences of students on campus. Past guests have included historian Douglas Brinkley, who wrote a biography on journalist Walter Cronkite, historian Doris Kearns Goodwin, whose book about Lincoln inspired the movie Lincoln, and business magnate T. Boone Pickens, who discussed America's energy future. Many guests have been historians and politicians, and some people want to try something new.
We're talking about current events and politics. I'd like to see somebody who's talking about current events in more of a liberal arts and sciences realm.
For Griffon Update, I'm Brenden Welch.